in LA recently. How did that come about? Because we see it all the time. Like I said, you said you were in a competition. You got the studio equipment. You got the check for $1,000.
Yeah.
Like we see a lot of times where these artists or these labels, they'll do, hey, I'm doing a contest. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. So how did the connection between you and Westside Boogie and you going out to LA, how did that happen?
Time is hilarious like that, actually. So 5 years ago, Boogie actually contacted me, but not in the way of like DMing or anything, but just to comment on a post I made of a freestyle from 5 years ago. I had this thing called IG-16. I did, in my head, I was planning on for that entire year to do like 365 different freestyles every single day.
It's a lot of freestyles.
It was, but I didn't make it. I tapped out. I tapped out at like a good 74.
That's a lot of freestyles.
But here's the kicker with that. The kicker with that is having 74 freestyles, you got to tag 74 artists on those 74 songs you freestyle over. And out of those 74 freestyles, the only person who actually responded on the freestyle of their song was Boogie, Westside Boogie. And it was the Silent Ride. So he only said one word. He said snapped. And that was like 15 likes, like, oh, Westside Boogie, dope. Yeah. And it's just, cool. Going back to work, 12-hour shift, life is life.
Yeah.
Fast forward, though, 5 years later, once again, nothing crazy or extravagant from that moment happens.
Yeah.
But I go on my archives. Now, if you think 8 Mile, Eminem days, he had a loose leaf notebook. Drake has a BlackBerry. Berran Lee has an Instagram archive by the thousands.
Yeah.
That's Tony Stark's Suits. I can get whatever verse, whatever hook, and even get nostalgia where I feel inspired to try something new. But I went back to that video where he commented on it. Now, the cool thing with Instagram, it always has software updates, new features.
Yeah.
What I didn't know is when you swipe right on a comment, it doesn't just allow you to delete it. It has, like, you can repost it now. So when the comment pops up with the video on your story, cool. It's like TikTok.
Yeah, okay. I got you, yeah.
But what I didn't know is it notifies the original commenter. So it notifies Boogie. He sees the story. Once again, oh, wow, he saw the story from 5 years ago. Probably goes, hey, this dude from 5 years ago. Bet. What I also saw was he went back to look at the other video. So I'm like, oh, he's checking the bag. Because I just had a new Jay-Z, Jigga What, Jigga Who freestyle I got off. And that was constantly, like, happening, making new music throughout the year. So he just DMs me, let me know your budget, what you got going. And that's another funny thing. The song I chose was something I shelved 2 years ago in my notes. So it never got the verse I needed for this. I had my verse, but no one else could. Had Jordan Jetson, he was supposed to get on it. My boy Skyler, who's on the hook, he was supposed to get on it. They just never got around to it. But when I sent it to Boogie, automatic fire emojis.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this to you.
Okay.
I think 7 days I got the verse back. And it's gonna lead into it. So when I get the verse back, we hype. I'm thinking we'll do an animated video or something. I'm in Kentucky, he's Compton, all the way out there. I ain't never been to the West Coast. So he then says, so what you thinking about the video? I'm thinking naive, like, yo, what's the budget to get you out to Kentucky so we can shoot? He was like, no, you gotta come to LA.
Yeah.
I'm getting my flights and everything together. I got my team with me. I kept, I didn't need a quantity amount of people because I had a quality of individuals who knew to do more than one job like I do. So we executed precisely. I think from there, we shot the music video. He also gave me the alley-oop on Corner Store LA. Shout out to them because that's where I got my freestyle off. So for me to get the opportunity to be on not only a music video to shoot with a major artist like Boogie, but I also get to do a freestyle in somebody else's turf. It felt like an away game, and I was planning to do a windmill dunk. So I decided to do something that hasn't been done before. I like to do my show mixes. So I took 5 different beats that I just kind of grew up on and always wanted to say if I did something, I would do it like this. And I made my own kind of sort of 5 Fingers of Death. So I link up with Boogie. We going in this elevator on the way to do the shoot. And he's like, what else you doing out here, man? When are you taking off? I'm like, the next day, but everything on the itinerary is today. So, but I'm going to stop by Corner Store, get my freestyle. That's his people's. He was like, oh, okay, bet. I was hoping you would tap in with bro. My studio's there. I'll probably drop in. To get that is like, I say like Damian Lillard stopping by at your pickup game to see how you hooping.
Yeah, type shit.
So now I'm like, maybe it's time to bust out that 360 windmill we was working on the past month. This freestyle, once again, 5 different beats. 4-minute long freestyle. I had to practice it 3 times a day for 30 days straight before I got on the plane. I had many opportunities. I did BET Freestyle Friday. You remember that?
Yeah.
A lot of the story is good when you think of the highlight of how I did on the freestyle, but the fact of the matter is I didn't win.
Yeah.
It was 30 people. I made top 5, but I was number 5. So this has always been like a redemption thing for me to say, if I can really push the limits here,
Yeah.
let me show them what I can do as a technique to say, yeah, I am the Cassius Clay of this rap game. I can be that, and I think I am that. So just let the bars do the talking.
So the song is yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll say the song is mine. To go back to saying the song was from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I did a show in Bowling Green. This was a Bowling Green whole project. My boy Skylar, Steph Marvin is what he goes by. Skylar is actually a friend of mine since 2016. I named my kid after him, dropped the ER, put an A because she's a girl.
Yeah.
Skylar, you get it. But he was doing the hook of the song, and Justin, who's another good friend who owned the studio, made the beat for it. So that's already 2 people I've known over the last 7 years cooking up. I finish my show. I stumble in high as fuck with a joint in my hand. It's red LEDs. I'm just bobbing to the hook. Now, when you laying the hook down and it's been like 15 minutes and I'm hearing the track over and over again, eventually I'm going to pull my phone out where it looks like I'm scrolling, but I'm actually writing lyrics because the beat's hard.
Yeah.
It's my boy. So shout out to Black Market. From there, I got an 8-bar hook because I don't say, hey, man, I got something for this. They're just like, what you doing over there, B? Because that's how I am. It's been like that since 13.
Yeah.
So I give them 8 bars because it's, kind of structured to give 8 bar, 8 bar, 8 bar. So that's a hook and a hook. And then you're out. I give the 8 bars. Skylar said, all right, I'm going to come back and get mine later. We shut down the studio that night because it was getting late. He never got back to the verse.
Yeah.
It's been like a year. I'm calling him. I'm like, hey, how you feel if I get like Jordan Jetson on the hook? He's like, yeah, bro. I mean, if you can get it off. I give it to Justin, not Justin, but Jordan Jetson, and he's like, nah, I'm a spaz, bro. I fuck with it. Just never got around to it.
Yeah.
And then you look at, okay, this thing Boogie in my DMs, and then it's a text message and a phone call. He's like, well, send me what you got. I didn't have anything really that was like top quality material of being a single except that record. So when I got an 8, I'm thinking like, yeah, I'll send him the 8. When he gets back to me, he doesn't send me an 8. He sends me 16. His engineer extends the beat. So he doesn't have an 8 bar like I do. He has a 16, which basically, if this was like, Smash Bros, he kicks the 1/3 player off the field and says, nah, me and you.
Yeah.
Cool. And Skylar's still on the hook. Shout out to Steph Marvin. So that's 3 people still, technically.
Yeah.
1 guy on the hook, 2 guys on each verse. So I have to call him now and say, yo, this is fire, but I got to go back in the studio and do another 8 bars. And like an OG, he's like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like Eminem found him. He found me on Instagram. Thank God for technology. Because, I delivered, I feel like. And that'll be dropping soon.
Okay. So you got the connection with Boogie now. And it was, like I said, if people don't know the story, they're instantly going to think, well, he paid for the feature. He did this and that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he entered a contest and he won a contest type shit. But having a connection with somebody organically and them reaching out versus you hounding them and they like, nah, this, you brought it back up, but I said it was fire 5 years ago. You brought it back up. I still think it's fire. Matter of fact, I want to work with you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the part right there that's you can hang your hat on, like somebody who's been in the industry. They are respected when it comes to their music, their rapping ability, especially their rapping ability. They are respected as being a lyricist.
Yeah.
For them to look at you and say, hey, I don't even know this nigga. I don't even know this nigga.
But hip hop is that.
But I fuck with him.
It started out in the
yeah,
park. So
yeah.
like,
And so it's like,
just in a community of someone who had similar talents, you acknowledge that. You didn't shun it like a superstar. You decided to say, nah, he could eat because he's eating.
Yeah.
When he does what he does. I think that was something that was acknowledged from someone who sees it on a competitive level, such as I do, and he does, I'm sure. So I thank God that he chose to go an alley-oop way about it on the song, because I feel like he could have way bodied more if he wanted to.
Yeah, he could have just got
But
crazy.
this was like, the way it was set up, mind you, this wasn't even my song. I stumbled upon it and chose to keep shopping it around until it got in the right hands. So thank God for that, because in his verse is first, mine is second. So it sounds like, you feel me? So like, and you know, even then, when you look at the video, it's more so this guy X, this guy X, this guy. You know, it's not featuring anyone. It's just us collaborating.